Well, I'm here with the beautiful, wonderful Terrie Williams. Hey, Terrie.
How are you, my dear? I'm really happy to be here with you. Just happy to be here tonight celebrating us.
When you walked through the door, I just saw brightness come with you. Just talk a little bit about, no, really, just talk a little bit about you and how you mentor yourself every day, day to day.
It's really a very, very interesting question at this time, simply because I think that, you know, we talk about loving ourselves. You hear people say that they love themselves, and I just recently had like a come to Jesus moment that somebody was kind of sort of making light because I've lost some weight and, you know, that I seemed vibrant, right? So they said, Terrie must be in love. And I heard them, and so I walked back in the room and I said, you know what? I'm finally learning to love myself. So if you saw something, then I think that that's what it is. But it's a hard thing to get to. When you love yourself, you make decisions that are for you. And so that you kind of get rid of the disease to please, where we will say anything to keep people in our lives. And so I would just have to say that I'm finally at 58 learning how to love myself. And I'm really glad that you addressed that issue, because I think many people think that they love themselves and they don't really know what it is you can do when you do love yourself. And you think, whoa, I've loved myself for many years, but not if you were making wrong decisions. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. When I look at you also, I see a wonderful mentor, and I know that sometimes the path can be narrow. So can you talk a little bit about your mentorship? And
well, I have always believed, because of my parents, that it's important to always bring someone else along with you. And so I've been doing it all of my life, but it's specifically through our Stay Strong Foundation. We have a program that's called Terrie +1, because I take young people wherever I go. You know, even the lovely and talented Mashonda, who's a very gifted songwriter, and she's actually also a spokesperson for our Used to Be Me campaign, which deals with addressing depression and mental illness in the youth community. But it's something that I've always done. I took like about 10 young men from a group home that I had adopted to a black tie dinner, so that they could see what that was like. They had tuxes on. One of them was struggling to cut his food, and I wasn't going to say anything because it was like a little embarrassing to watch him. But then I said, I can't not say anything. So I went over to him and I just showed him how to cut his food. So later we went to a restaurant, right? There were still the 10 of us at the table. So he orders a steak, and he just like blurts out, Terrie, thank you for teaching me that trick. So I'm saying, what are you talking about? He said, teaching me how to cut my food. This kid was like 17 years old, but he didn't know. And so it's like, there's a whole lot of stuff I don't know either. But I'm saying that that's what we've got to do. We've got to take a young person with us wherever we go. And most of us are so busy that we don't really have the time to, like, say, take someone and completely and totally nurture them. But if you're just going to an event, you can take someone with you, introduce them to people so all the work's not on you, and so that our kids will never know how to be unless they see us, unless they see what's possible. So that's my joy. And I know that there were many, many people who helped me along the way, and you can't repay them as such monetarily, but what you can do and must do is to take somebody else under your wing. That's how we, pay it forward and recycle the inspiration. That's what I think.
Speaking of paying it forward, can you share with us a little bit about your books, your writing, because that goes global, lady.
Thank you. But one of the books I'm most proud of is my most recent one. It's called Black Pain. It Just Looks Like We're Not Hurting. And it's the story of the pain that we as Black Americans are in, but we don't really know. We haven't recognized the signs. We don't know what it looks like, what it feels like, what it sounds like. And obviously depression is like 1 in 4 people are depressed, but if everybody walks around with their mask on, their game face on, then and people are afraid to speak of it because it's perceived as a weakness or a stigma, then you don't really know what to call that emptiness inside of you, or when you can't get out of the bed, or you can't concentrate and you're eating everything inside. You're doing anything to not feel the real pain that you're in, because we self-medicate with drugs, with alcohol, food, promiscuous, unprotected sex, shopping when we don't have money, gambling, and cutting ourselves. There are more and more of us who are bulimic, and what's the other one called? There's bulimia and anorexia. But because so many of us are in emotional pain and we don't know how to deal with it, we'll do anything to not feel that particular pain. So I had a breakdown, suffered from depression over half my life. When I came through it, I just heard God one day say, you have to tell your story, and I haven't looked back. I just know that there's so many people who think they're standing on that ledge by themselves when everybody you know is walking that fine line, can barely get out of the bed, and we wear that smile pasted on our faces. We have a mask on that is hot up under there. We got masks for all different occasions. So I'm just really proud of the work that we have done in terms of helping to enlighten people through our, through our campaign efforts. We did the Stay Strong Foundation did something with the ad cancel and SAMHSA, and so people sharing their stories has touched so many other people. It's like, I'm not alone in this, So that's been my greatest joy. And I did forget to mention when we were talking about mentoring that the motto for the Stay Strong Foundation is that if we don't give our kids time, the system will. And does that just say it all?
I just want to say Terrie Williams just shared a lot of her time with us that is extremely globally valuable, and I appreciate you taking the time with What's the 411, Terrie. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.